Hey guys, the next set on the list for review is Vivid Voltage. So I collect data for each set one at a time as I make each video, and it generally changes my opinion a bit on the set just because I become more familiar with pull rates and card values and stuff like that. But so far, none of the data collection I've done has changed my opinion as much as this set, Vivid Voltage, has. I went into this video thinking that Vivid Voltage was probably like middle of the road, maybe slightly below average in terms of Sword and Shield era sets. But after collecting the data, I now am more so thinking that this is probably the second worst set in the era. Before I explain why I feel that way, I'll go over a quick summary of the actual data I collected. So, my data consists of 52 booster boxes, which is a total of 1,872 booster packs. I didn't open these packs myself because I don't have the funding necessary to do that, so I instead sat through several hours of random YouTube videos watching people open their own booster boxes and manually counting each and every hit that they got in those booster boxes. It's not a fun way of collecting data, but I find it increasingly necessary because as I get more and more of my own data for each new set, I am consistently seeing that other YouTubers' data, specifically Danny Phantoms, their data is very, very different from mine. I'll put up Danny Phantoms' data directly below mine. I think it takes up too much screen space for me to keep it there though, so if you really want to get a good look at it and read through it, feel free to pause the video here. Considering that this is consistently happening with each new video I do, collecting new data for each set, and Danny Phantom seems like a very trustworthy source, I can only speculate that every print wave Pokemon comes out with has different pull rates. If this continues to happen again and again and again, then I'm going to be more and more and more convinced that that is the case. Anyways, on to Vivid Voltage. Because this set is one of the worst, in my opinion, sets of the era, I'll start off with the negatives because I have more negatives than positives on this set. I think the best way to judge how good or bad a set is to look at the expected value you can get in an average booster box, and in Vivid Voltage's case, that would be about $26.63 based on my data. That doesn't include bulk or code cards, but Pokemon bulk is nearly worthless at this point, and code cards have always been worthless, so you could maybe add $7 to every single price amount that I have listed for every set. Realistically though, unless you have a local card shop willing to buy your bulk, I don't think it's feasible to add the bulk value to your expected booster box value, because bulk is heavy, and with how worthless it is, it's going to cost more to ship it than it is to just keep it. At the very least, while the expected value you'll get from a booster box in this set is so low, you do have a slightly higher than 4% chance of getting the Rainbow Rare Pikachu, which is about 1 in 23 boxes. That 1 in 23 will actually pay off the box. The other 22 you're going to lose about $100 each on though, so I don't really think that's worth it. Surprisingly though, with how horribly low the expected value you'll get out of a booster box is, the pull rate of Vivid Voltage is actually the highest by far out of any of the sets I've reviewed so far. And that's because it has amazing rares. This is the first set in the era to have an additional category that none of the sets before it has. I'm not sure if it's a controversial thing to say amazing rares should count towards pull rates or not. In my opinion, it makes no sense whatsoever not to include them, because if you look at the Vs and Vmaxes from Vivid Voltage, both of the average prices on those are worth significantly less than what amazing rares are. Speaking of Vs and Vmaxes though, I have to point out how absurdly low value the average V and Vmax are in this set. I mean, 60 cents for a regular V art, that's practically bulk prices, which means you're not going to be able to sell any of them, and you're going to end up with lots and lots of low value, undesirable duplicate cards. Yet another reason to buy singles rather than open booster packs or booster boxes. I understand how fun it is to open sealed Pokemon products, but like I said, this set is the second worst in terms of value in the entire era, so literally any set other than this one or Darkness Ablaze is going to do so much better for you if you just need to satisfy the addiction of opening Pokemon cards. So I brought up this next point in every single one of my set list reviews because of how important it is, but it won't apply to any of the future sets from here on out, so this is the last time I'll mention it. Vivid Voltage does not have alternate arts. While alternate arts have horrifically low pull rates, every set in this era that doesn't have alternate arts, like Vivid Voltage, is immediately not as good as every set that does have them. Battle Styles, one of the most hated sets in the era, possibly the most hated set, and yet it has alternate arts, and because of that, it is higher than literally every other set in the era that doesn't have alternate arts in terms of the entire set value. I guess you could kind of make the argument that the Pikachu Rainbow Rare is sort of like an alternate art. It's not, but maybe it's kind of a substitute for one. But even then, that would mean Vivid Voltage only has a single alternate art when the next lowest set is Brilliant Stars. I was very surprised to find that out, by the way. And it only has 4 alternate arts, but still, that's 4 times as many as Vivid Voltage. So everything up till now has been my opinion mixed with data, but from here on, it's just going to be 100% my opinion and things I have to say about the set. I always like to look through each set list and pick out card artworks that I personally like. I like to count them up and compare them to other sets. And surprisingly, with how badly I've been talking about Vivid Voltage, this set actually has the highest number, being about 8 to 10 artworks that I'd actually really like for myself. Speaking of being better than the previous sets, my own experience opening Vivid Voltage, I've probably opened around 80 to 90 packs or so. And in comparison to both Darkness Ablaze and base set, Vivid Voltage destroyed them. My openings for base set and Darkness Ablaze were absolutely terrible, but Rebel Clash is probably about tied with Vivid Voltage. So in terms of my financial opinion, not advice, opinion on whether or not I'd invest in Vivid Voltage, well, I kind of already did invest a decent bit into it, because my initial opinion on the set was pretty good, and then I collected a bunch of data and changed my mind. I believe I have 2 sealed booster boxes of Vivid Voltage, and one of them, unfortunately, the plastic wrap around it is in really bad condition. This is my good one. I think I have 2 ETBs, and I probably have like 100-ish loose booster packs of Vivid Voltage. 0 of which are sleeved, which is unfortunate because those usually tend to be worth more down the road. I definitely don't plan on getting any more booster boxes, and definitely no more loose packs. I have way too many already. I just ended up seeing a fantastic deal on them and couldn't help buying a ton of them. As far as ETBs, I'm probably actually going to buy more of these, honestly, because ETBs don't care how good or bad the set is. Their value is based almost entirely on what the artwork of the actual box looks like. Vivid Voltage has a pretty amazing artwork on it. I honestly think it might be the best in the entire era. I mean, I haven't done reviews on future sets, so I haven't really sat down and stared at the artwork all that much, but at the very least, it is beating all of the sets I've reviewed previous to this one. So my financial opinion is basically something like buy 0 to maybe up to 2 booster boxes of Vivid Voltage. I'd say 0 loose packs because I have like 100 and I've had them listed since I bought them maybe like 8 months ago, and I've probably sold like 5. I don't think people really enjoy opening the set that much. So really the only thing I'd recommend is the ETB, but I would strongly recommend it. Like I said, I think it has the best artwork in the era, so if you're going to buy an ETB and you don't have any set at all, I would probably start with Vivid Voltages over any of the other ones. So that sums up my thoughts on Vivid Voltage. It's a bad investment other than the ETB, and in terms of collecting, it's horrible. Literally the second worst, as I mentioned before. It is possible for that to change though, because like I said, I collect data for these videos as I record them, so I don't have any data on any future sets like Battle Styles or Fusion Strike. Those are contenders to be worse than Vivid Voltage. Battle Styles is next in line for a review video though, so we will find out pretty soon. Subscribe if you want to see that, by the way. But that's about all I have to say about Vivid Voltage. I do put in a lot of time to collect the necessary data for these videos, so if you enjoyed the video, it'd mean a lot to me if you could leave me a like. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.